Who is the Negro? In order for us to understand what's going on today, in any story, you got to put the characters in place. Now, I'm not going to use any black scholars at all. I'm going to use their definitions, their history, their scholars, their interpretations of the Bibles and mythology, and I'm just straight up going to poke holes in it. Everything they've done to indoctrinate us through school, church, and at the same time removing us from land, sense of self, and our creator, I'm just going to straight up kick the whole goddamn table over. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the so-called Negro what part he and she played in their own demise, which eventually led to their servitude. Alright, so let's start with the word Negro. Let's get the definition of Negro. A member of a race of humankind, native to Africa, physical features, dark skin. When did it first pop up? 1555, Spanish or Portuguese, from the word negro meaning black, Latin Niger, and which also came into the word nigger. So that is their definition for the word Negro, and I did that purposely. We're going to consistently use their definitions and poke holes in it because they have to remain consistent. So now, in order to figure this out, we have to use the mythology or the history or the biblical story of Noah and his 3 sons to figure out which one is the Negro. Why we're going to use that story? Because a lot of the stigma under dark skin, under so-called Negro, was propelled by that mythology or that story or their interpretation of that story on us. Even the Mormon church says dark skin is a curse, which all stems back from the story of Noah and his 3 sons. So we're going to dig into that story and we're going to poke holes in it. And this time we're going to look for everybody, not only the dark skin. Noah had 3 sons, Japheth, Ham, and Shem. And it's been an ongoing story from their mythology that the blacks today are related to Ham, which happens to be the one that was cursed in their interpretation of the mythology. So what we're going to do now is read The Faith of Man, an encyclopedia of religion. It says Japheth represents the fair northern race, okay? Ham, usually rendered as black, or Cush, meaning sunburn, obviously alluding to the skin color. Shem, ancestor of the Semitic races, so we're gonna get back to that too. And the name meaning dusky as contrasted with Ham. So they're saying that Ham's skin color is similar to the skin color of Shem. I know people need more evidence, so we're gonna dig in some more. We're gonna use the Pictorial Bible Dictionary and the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha, which happens to be some books that they removed from the Bible for their own reasons. So we're gonna figure out, we're going to dig deeper into these 3 characters, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, to see who they really are. Now, Ham, it says Ham, the youngest son of Noah. Don't worry about the ages of these things because these things have multi-layered meanings, and the age I don't need to get into right now. He became the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. Why is Ham not a Negro? He black, but he ain't a Negro. Progenitor of the dark races, but he's not a Negro. It says Japheth, he is the progenitor of the more remote northern peoples of southeastern Europe. And lastly, Shem again, the progenitor of the Semitic race. It told you straight that Ham is not the Negro. So we can cross Ham out, even though that don't make no sense. We're going to cross Ham out, and then we're going to deal with Japheth and Shem. We're going to dig a little deeper into Japheth, see who Japheth really is, and then we could get to figure out who is the Negro. This book is called The Creed of Japheth. This is 1891, and it says, blue eyes and fair complexion of their ancestors. I don't really think that could be a Negro. Okay, so what I've gathered so far is Ham isn't the Negro. Japheth isn't the Negro. Japheth is fair-skinned, blue-eyed, and he's from way up north where it's cold. And Shem is Semitic, and he has a close relation with Ham in terms of skin color. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that Semitic and the skin color when it comes to Shem. Every time we hear Semitic, or people say Semitic, you walk on eggshells because of the ones that we know today. We're going to read a book called Races of Europe, a sociological study by William Z. Ripley, PhD, Columbia University. That just shows you that these people know this information and they don't tell you nothing. What does he got to say about Semitics or Semites? Semites are dark enough in type, and the evidence of the sacred books bears the same theory. The original dark type, thus black hair, are commonly synonymous with the early Semitic languages. Science corroborates the popular impression that the modern Jews are distinctively of a brunette type. And we have the definition of brunette here, with brown or dark complexion. Okay, so I think we got that one covered. And sometimes they hide your secret in books they know you're not going to go in, like the metaphysic books. This one is from Dr. Doriel. It's a book called The Messiah Agadoth. And in this one, it says Adam is referred to in the book of Genesis was not the father of the entire human race, but he was the father of a distinct group or line of people with certain racial characteristics. Adam was the father of what we have called today the Semitic people. It goes further. Adam or Adama was a generic term, not one man, but a race of people, man and woman, which was derived basically from the original root race, the red race. Dr. Doria dropping some more knowledge. The Jewish people, we are told, that are the 12 tribes of Israel, and many do not know that Israel means all mankind and does not mean the Jewish race. Actually, the Jewish race consisted of only one tribe. The Jewish people are dark-skinned, dark-haired, dark-eyed people. They are the brown race. I know you thought the Jews today were the real one, and I know they think they really are too, some of them. But the ones who really know. The Ashkenaz Jew that you know today is of the line of Japheth. King James Bible has his whole family tree lined up, and it has Ashkenaz there, right after the son of Gomer. Genesis chapter 10 verse 2 also tells you, the son of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Ripath, and Torgama. So Ashkenaz cannot be of the line of Japheth and say they're the original Semites or Shemites, because you're of the bloodline of Japheth. Now, mind you, I'm still using their story and their mythology, and I'm kicking them to sleep. You feel me? Because the Father says in the last day, knowledge will become available. So this lie they couldn't keep this lie up no longer. All has to be revealed, and all characters have to take their place at this point in time. So now we got Ham up out the way, and we got Japhi up out the way. Obvious that Shem is the Negro. Why is Shem the Negro? And why hide Shem's identity? So hold on a second. Where on earth do these sons belong? Because their mythology said every son was allotted a piece of land, right? Japheth was given over the Caucasus Mountains, way up north with 5 islands. Land allotted to Japheth is always cold. It's not seasonal. It's always cold. Ham was allotted the land in the south where it's always hot. And Shem was allotted the middle portion of the earth where it's seasonal. Okay? Now that'll tell you why they're hiding Shem and they're hiding the Negro. All your pyramids are in the middle part of the world. Most of these ley lines, the middle part of the earth. All the things they say they cannot explain how they occurred, all took place in the middle part of the earth. Some of these great societies that we talk about, Mayans, the Indians, the Egyptians, the Moors, all of those took place in the middle portion of the world that was allotted to Shem, aka the ones they call the Negro. Negro. You know, over time they change names and they disguise words by just even sometimes adding a curve on a letter to disguise the original meaning. Negro stems from necro, okay? If you look up the word necro, you're gonna get those that are dead, one that is dead. The etymology borrowed from the Greek necro, meaning dead body, spirits of the dead. You know why you call the Negro, aka a necro? Because you can't remember what you did in that middle portion of the earth. You're the ones they call the dead, the sleeping. They removed you from your land, they removed you from your God, they removed you from your spirit. And Proverbs 21:16 says, a man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead. All of you that have relinquished your faith in your God and been removed from it, this is why we sleep. Remember, the book is written by the Hebrews, for the Hebrews. So when it's talking about the dead, it's talking about you. In 2nd Ezra 10:30, and lo, I lay as one that had been dead, and mine understanding was taken from me. You don't remember who you are. You don't remember what you did. Because if you did, they couldn't do what they did to us. Again, Luke 15:24. This is you in the past talking about what you know is going to happen to your seed in the future. Luke 15:24. For this is my son, Shem, was dead and is alive again. He was lost and his found, and they began to be merry. This is what's happening now. We are Shem. We were lost. We didn't know none of this history about ourselves, but we found it, and it's over. Your ancestors were geniuses, and they knew everything was about timing. So they know at every height, there's always a low point. That's just rhythm. With every forward swing, there's a backswing. So the Hebrews in the Bible left you breadcrumbs. And some of the greatest geniuses this planet has ever seen, the Egyptians, they did the same thing. The hieroglyphics was not for them. Even Greek historians said the Egyptians were almost like gods. They were telepathic. So why would they leave writings? They left the writings for us, their seed. We went through the definition of Negro to Necro, describing people as being dead. The Egyptians have a book called the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It's not for sarcophaguses and mummies or nothing like that. It's for you. They left you crumbs and remnants of what you used to be in the golden ages to what you're going to be relegated to now in the Iron Age. It's all about the precession of the equinox. Rhythm. With every swing, forward swing, there's a backswing. With every golden age, there's going to be an Iron Age. And you're not going to remember who you are. There's the book. Read it. The Egyptian Book of the Dead has nothing to do with the literal dead. It's a book of metaphysics and mythology, meant to spark you, meant to spark your DNA so you can start to remember. They even left you pictures that depicted the skin color, your pigment. And even with all this information, anytime they have pictures, movies, and books, they still decide to put another color there. Why? You wonder how could you have possibly forgotten all these things? Because you disconnected yourself from the divine. Your 7 chakras, your 7 fourth dimensional channels, your 7 hermetic principles. The story of Samson is telling you exactly about those things that were cut off. Cut off 7 locks. Why would it be specifically 7? The locks is on your what? Your head. Your head is the connection to your divine. That's why they took your God away from you. They changed your belief. You took you away from self. They made you become more of a physical man than the spiritual man. And once they had you in that corner, then they can control you. In Judges, Samson told Delilah, if I shave my head, my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak like other men, like other races. That's what's happened to you. You believe everything they tell you. You believe in their gods, you believe in their history, you believe in everything. You know nothing of yourself, and you became weak. You didn't just come from Africa. You're all over the world. France, Germany, Switzerland, England, North America, South America. Anywhere you can think of where it was seasonal. Italy, Rome. That was yours before the Caucasian came from way up north. And I'm going to use another book to prove that to you. It's called The Great Initiates by Edward Shore. Let's see what Mr. Edward got to say. He says the southern continent, swallowed up by the last deluge, that's the cycle before this, was the cradle of the primitive red race, the original Adamic race, which the American Indians are only a remnant of. Africa is the mother of the black race, which came from that Adamic race, which the Greeks called Ethiopian. Asia brought forth the yellow race, Chinese, and the latest arrival, the white race, came from the forests of Europe. I ain't say it, Mr. Edward said it. And he's from that same race. All right. They tell you until you came in contact with the white man, you wasn't civilized. And you were only relegated to Africa. What Mr. Edward got to say about that? After the red race, the Adamic race, the original race before this cycle, after the red race, the black race ruled the globe. They say they taught you how to read and write and all that nonsense. Look at this. From the blacks, they learned 2 important things: casting of metals, sacred writing, the art of fixing curtain ideas with mysterious hieroglyphics on the skins of beasts and barks. Thus discovered the ruins of the Celts. The Celts is also us. Because even in these books, they couldn't completely tell you the truth. You got to pick sense out of nonsense because they got to get their book published. You are also the Celts. They say they brought you Jesus and this and that. You can't bring me nothing. You know why? Blacks had religious centers in Upper Egypt and India. Yeah, even Buddha from the same bloodline, same people. He even touched on the Semites. Among the Semites were the intellectuality of the black race originally dominated. So when they say you stupid, and you can't do this, and you're not good enough because you're not smart enough to do this and that. They straight up lying again. Semites were the intellectuality of the black race originally dominated. So when it came to being smart, you dominated that too. When they were referring to Hermes, they had to go back again to the black race. The black race, which succeeded the southern red race, the original race, and in the rule of the world, made its principal sanctuary in Upper Egypt. So every time we watch a movie that has to do with Egypt and we don't see nobody that looks like us, that's why we get pissed off, because y'all know y'all lying. Now, I say Buddha was black. All that Indian religion, Brahmins and Krishna and all that derived from the same black race. You're gonna say, nah, you bullshitting, okay? Says the super abundant black blood has given India a color special to itself. It has refined the race and rendered it effeminate at the same time. So what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters, South America, North America, the Caribbean, when somebody says you Hebrew, it doesn't mean no religion. That's your bloodline. You could be Hebrew and be more. You feel me? You can be Hebrew and be blood. You could be Hebrew and be Crip. You could also be Hebrew and be a Christian, because you could add whatever title you want to add on yourself. But it is your bloodline. It's your bloodline. It has nothing to do with attachment or faith you got. So now everybody got to realize, or you have to realize, you got to realize it first, that you are everywhere. And all of these faces that they've whitewashed and covered, now they're going to be uncovered. And some of us are going to be the ones that's doing the uncovering.